pundits and pollsters who predicted the end of Donald Trump's lead after the first GOP debate are going to be kind of sad today. New polling shows that the Donald with a super strong lead. Several polls. I'm going to go through some of them. One of them was an NBC News SurveyMonkey poll that found Trump was on top of the GOP field with 23% support. Now, that's 10 points more than his nearest competitor, which is actually Ted Cruz, not Jeb Bush. Interesting. Now, how does the rest of the field stack up? Well, Ben Carson ranks next at 11. Carly Fiorina, who actually a lot of people are saying she won the first debate, the JV debate, the kiddie table. She got about 8%, tied with Marco Rubio, also at 8%. So now what's interesting about this is despite the fact that Trump got the most, has the biggest polling, they actually say that he was the loser of the debate, which is really interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about that. 29% of GOP voters picked him as the evening's top disappointment. Now, I watched the debate. I was not disappointed with Trump, but maybe that's because I was looking for a comedy show and not an actual policy debate.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about it off mic, Jeff. I actually did miss the debate, unfortunately. I had to miss the debate. And it's because I had a gig. So I was like, wow, I'm missing a comedy event because of a comedy event. That's what I'm dealing with. And I was surprised people showed up to my show because I was like, dude, the comedy event of the year is on television right now. I don't know if I can compete with this. So I missed it. So I'm living vicariously through you. I'm counting on you to walk us through because I did miss the debate. But, you know, the one thing I knew for sure, the winner of the debate was my people. Comedians won that debate. That's the winner of that debate.
You know, I actually think Donald Trump did fairly well. I mean, he was actually really strong on a lot of his answers, which were all crap, right? But at least he was strong on his crap. And he actually sparred pretty well with some of the people who were challenging him. But the person that he sparred with the most was surprisingly the moderator, Megyn Kelly, as well as who's that other guy? I forget. It's so easy to forget the other guy who was moderating. Chris Wallace. All
right. Well, what was kind of what went down there? Give me like a Cliff Notes.
Well, there was a couple of different questions. Megyn Kelly asked about the sexism angle. Mm-hmm. I forget the exact question. It was something about, you know, you were very sexist to people on Twitter, to women on Twitter especially, calling them, you know, fat pigs and animals and stuff like that. Disgusting. And he said, only Rosie O'Donnell. That was his answer. Only Rosie O'Donnell. I was a complete sexist pig, but trust me, it was only towards Rosie O'Donnell.
She's liberal. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
Nice. Good job, Donald.
And then another highlight, and I think this is actually my favorite, and where he actually makes a really, really good point, is where he was asked about his donations to people like Hillary Clinton, because he did donate to Hillary Clinton, to her foundation. He did donate to Nancy Pelosi's political campaigns. And they asked him about that. He said, you know, why did you donate? I mean, you said that it was when you donate, they do whatever the hell you want. You know, what do you say to that? And it's like, well, he's like, I was a businessman up until 2 months ago. When I give people money 2-3 years down the road, I can call them back and ask them to do whatever the hell I want.
This is how democracy is bought. What's wrong with you people?
You know what's funny is that nobody on the stage challenged him.
Of course not.
Or said anything about it. In fact, I think it was Marco Rubio, or it might have been somebody else, John Kasich. No, I don't think it was John Kasich. There was another person there at the debate. I don't remember who spoke up, who said, "Why don't you give me money, Donald Trump? If your campaign doesn't work out, you can go ahead and send me a check." Isn't that amazing? Instead of saying, "Hey, you know that you're right, Donald, that's a broken system," because that's exactly what he said. He said, "This is a broken system." Everybody else said, "Well, yeah, it's broken. Give me money."
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're like, well, we're not going to get money out of politics because that's the only way we got a shot at winning stuff. We're the GOP. You know, why would they? But, yeah, I think the reason he's still winning in the polls, despite like the debates or whatever. There's just so many people that are contestants right now. I mean, when I first saw the thing, I thought it was insane. Then they had to do 2 debates because, oh, Fox News wants everyone to be heard from. They want everyone's voice to be heard, unless of course you're anti-war. Then they'll go ahead and censor you. Just ask Ron Paul or Dennis Kucinich. But you know, otherwise,
also MSNBC.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah, and they're not the only culprit. It's the entire corporate media, not just Fox News. But you know, then it's just a matter of I think he's just the one that's fresh in everyone's mind. So anyone that wants to support the GOP, they're just going to naturally go to Trump. But I'll tell you what, dude, I think Jeb is waiting to pounce, and I think he's going to.
I don't know. I think I disagree. Jeb
Really?
is pretty weak. The only thing that he's got for him is his ability to suck up the donors, to suck coke, if you will. That's his only strength.
Here's what I'm thinking, and again, I could be totally wrong, but I think, I mean, right now Jeb's playing the civility card. He's not getting involved with the whole mess. I think Jeb's going to strike at the right time. He's going to kind of use that as a way to say he can go across aisles or whatever else. And then also when the time is right, he's going to distance himself from his brother, kind of be like, hey, he has a nice paint-by-numbers career now. We're 2 different people. He's going to figure out a way to do that, and it's going to be at the right time. And this is just a hunch. Like, I'm not basing this off a ton of like anything I've seen in the press or anything like that. I'm just saying I think he's got an ace up his sleeve, and I still think that's going to be the guy.
No ace up his sleeve is going to make up for the fact that the GOP base hates Jeb Bush. They absolutely hate him. Once again, there's a lot of polling that suggests that people are against a Clinton-Bush dynasty. They hate the idea.
They hate the idea, but again, Jeff, we're dealing with a broken system where democracy is bought. I'm just saying, don't rule. I'm telling you, I think that's going to happen. I could be totally wrong, but I do think that's going to happen. Yeah, the GOP base right now is not a fan of him. They weren't a fan of Romney at this time in the whole, in the whole scheme of things. But then look at what he was able to do and get the nominee.
And then he lost.
Well, yeah, he lost. I'm not saying Jeb Bush is going to win the general election. I'm talking about getting the nominee. I'm not, too far to speculate anything there, but I think that it's not unlikely that he could still turn this thing around. I mean, yeah, doesn't have a ton of fans in the GOP base now, but that changes like the weather, Jeff. I think it's going to happen. I don't know.
Look, I'll concede on the point that we have a long race to go.
Right.
But nonetheless, like, this goes to why Trump is more popular among the GOP base. It's because Trump is sort of the anti-establishment of the right.
Which is such an oxymoron, what you just said.
It is. And
he is the establishment.
That's what I want to point out, too. Anybody who thinks that he is the actually anti-establishment guy, no, he is exactly like the other guys. But he is the businessman that is buying your politician. He's the guy behind the curtain saying, I give you money and you give me favors. You do what I want you to. I say jump and you say how high. Yeah. All for that campaign dollar. To call him the anti-establishment candidate, to truly think that he's against the establishment is ridiculous. It's sort of, I don't know.
Like calling Walmart a mom and pop shop.
Right. It's not true.
Yeah. And you know what? Even just these taps on the back that he gets for being a businessman, let's be quick to point out here, he inherited his fortune. And his dad bailed him out a bunch of times. That's why when he uses, well, I'm a businessman and I could probably, help fix the debt and stuff like that. Really, dude? Unless your dad's going to write a check for all of the U.S. debt, I don't think that's going to happen because you declared bankruptcy how many times?
4.
Thank you. And then his dad bailed him out every single time. I mean, so,
He's really only famous because he has a famous name.
Right. And a bunch of casinos and reality television. Mm-hmm. And quite the head of hair.
If you can call that hair. But hey, you know what? You do it. I mean, come on.
Dude, I'm losing mine too, man. I'm losing mine. So,
It's only fair.
Maybe we shouldn't throw stones from our glass houses.
Maybe I should not.
Fair enough. Me or you. I'm not, both of us.
Right. As I said, man, Trump is not like us. He's not a regular person. He's a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he may be running on his own money and everything and trying not to. He actually sent out a tweet earlier saying, oh, you know, those people going and sucking up for Coke money. Yeah, that's great rhetoric and everything, right? But seriously, that doesn't make you one of us. That doesn't make you not part of the establishment. You're the guy that's bribing the politicians behind the curtain. You're no better than the establishment that you claim to be against.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a total pot meat kettle situation. I mean, yeah, maybe he's not super tight with the Cokes, but at the end of the day, they're at that same elite lunch table that you and I do not have a seat at.
Mm-hmm. And most Americans also don't have a seat at.
Yeah. Over 99% of them do not. So a lot of them think they do. That's the problem.
Right. Well, not only that. Okay, so there's another poll as well. Now, I mentioned the NBC or ABC News, or no, it's NBC News Survey Monkey poll. All right. There's another poll, according to the latest Morning Consult tracking poll, that finds that now, and this is the most recent poll, just came out today, Trump is at 32%. So since the debate happened and since he got into a feud with Megyn Kelly, he's now up 7 points.
Well, when he was saying like horrific racist things, he went up a bunch of points too.
And now that he says a bunch of sexist things, he goes up even more.
Yeah, I mean, it says something about that base. I mean, honestly, when you can say those horrific things and go up in the polls, I mean, I was making the comment where I'm like, I'm waiting for like some GOP candidate to just walk up there and say 7 racial slurs and just walk off and see what it does for them. Because, you know, that might help. I mean, honestly, at this point, like that might help you. So it says something about the base, or it just says that there's still a lot of apathy and people just are seeing him floating around and they're like, yeah, I think I want to go with him. He's different. He's a businessman.
And once again, if you think government should run like a business, then you missed the point of government. It's not supposed to run like a business because it's not a business.
Right.
You're dealing with people, as in this is your population. Your population isn't supposed to be a customer base you can extract profit from.